everyone. So today I have a wig that I want to show you. It's my first full lace wig, and I'm so happy with her and kind of wondering why I never went this route before. I think I was just scared of full lace and thinking that there wouldn't be any support and then I wouldn't like that. And I also think that we tend to, we're creatures of habit and we tend to kind of get the same thing even if it doesn't make any sense. So I want to show you, and this is from the Janet collection. This is Elf. And this is in the 2216, this color. And if you kind of compare her to me, we really have roughly the same color. I do have some random platinum streaks through, but other than that, overall, the dark blonde that's in here is really practically identical to what I have. So I'm really happy because I was looking for a wig to kind of be a stand-in or the stuntman for my own hair. For days when my own hair is acting up, I'm having a bad hair day and it just refuses to work, I can throw in a wig. The other reason too is for times when maybe I don't have a chance to do my roots and I need to be presentable if I'm camping, you know, all kinds of reasons to get a wig that mimics your own hair. So, and of course, if I'm pregnant and I'm not dyeing my hair and I want to go back to my blonde color, this will be easy to do. Blonde is really hard to get, especially in a synthetic, for it to look right. Blonde already is a color that when we see it, we assume that it's not the natural color because it's just so rare, especially around here, to see a natural blonde. So when we see one, we assume she dyed her hair. On top of that, if there is any indication that it's not her hair, if it's too shiny, a little too perfect, then we'll say, oh, of course it's a wig. That couldn't be her real hair. So because of that, it's a lot harder to find a believable blonde wig. She actually does have a platinum streak in here, I just noticed. So I don't know how it looks on your screen, but from here, she's perfect. And I'm sitting here because this is a natural sunlight. This is a window right here. And she's definitely a golden blonde, but it's not brassy. It's a very nice color, and it's mixed with some platinum. So she's not ash, which I really would have preferred. But she's what I have. So you know, she's very accurate in terms of a color that looks natural. She's definitely not orangey. So let's take a look at how she's built. I think I'll come around here so you can see better. Oh yeah, this lighting looks a little greenish. She's definitely not green. So you can see the top there. The only thing with her is where the starts here. You just kind of have to watch out for that line right there. The rest of this is whole lace. So obviously this is a white styrofoam head, so it's a little more clear on where the little knots are. But ideally, if this were skin color, it wouldn't be as obvious. What I also really like about this style of cap, the full lace versus the lace front, for me, it's more realistic. You can see my own natural hair. So for anyone who has naturally fine hair, someone who is, for most cases, Caucasian, we just don't have much volume naturally. We just don't. I mean, the 80s was testament to the lengths we'll go to get fuller, bigger hair, but we really don't have it. We don't have big hair. You can see how it lays. We just don't have it naturally. And so since everything lately, there's a huge natural movement, it's very hard to get away with a wig nowadays, where it was a lot easier before because everyone was teasing their hair and using a lot of product. Now that everyone is going the natural route, it's even more difficult to find a wig that's believable. So I will say that this full lace wig, the lace all over, is the ticket. This lays flat for that silky, straight, natural look. And as far as the fibers itself, I say this is way, way softer than the Futura fiber, but let me show you what it is actually. So it's very soft. It's not dull. It has a luster. It has a natural hair luster. If I can I get some sun rays? I guess not. It's just the angle's wrong. But she has a luster, but she's not shiny. She doesn't look plasticky like so many of these others, and especially when you're going for the natural look, your hair's just not naturally that shiny. It has a luster, and that's about it. So it doesn't look over-processed where it's matte, but it doesn't look fake at all. Look, it looks like my hair stuck on a wig. So let me show you, get behind the camera here so you can look. So here she is. I have to say the photo looks worse than she does on. I think in the photograph, she looks incredibly wiggy. Just, I mean, so fixed. Not at all falling naturally. Focus on that, not the chair. There we go. So she has synthetic hair. Again, this is Janet. Come on, camera. Work with me. Too close? Anyway, you know what it is. So this is the fiber itself. It's called Heat Flex. And it seems to function just like the Futura hair. But I think it's better because I do have, actually my very favorite wig uses that material. And it is a little bit scratchy. I will admit, it's scratchy. And it does look like I have mousse or something in my hair. Where this does not. It looks so silky and soft. Of course, it is still synthetic. It's not nearly as soft as my natural hair. My natural hair is very soft and fluffy, almost like animal fur, which is a part of why, you know, you put product in it to keep it from flying away and being so fluffy that it's unruly. But I will say it's very believable, this synthetic material, very much so. A little coarser than European hair, but not at all. No, I would not consider it coarse hair at all. It just feels like maybe it wasn't freshly washed, but it's very natural. But really what I want to do, which is also why I haven't cut the lace yet, is I want to go in and I want to give her a very, very light roots to look like maybe I am a natural blonde. Maybe what's coming out of my head is a little bit darker, but you would still consider it a dirty blonde. Not dark brown like my own. I think I have a number 4 in terms of color. It's brown, it's not black, but it's very dark. So to make it a little more believable, I have to give her something to look like I didn't just get my hair done, which is not believable. So I'm going to put some roots on her. And then after that, I am also going to flip this inside out, and I'm going to go in very carefully and try to thin out the very first hairline so that so it looks a little more natural, because it is just a little too perfect and straight. So I do want to do that. I have noticed with synthetic hair, the haphazard plucking is, I think because the synthetic strands are stronger than natural hair, it just seems to rip the mesh instead of pulling the hair. So the hair strand is holding on much firmer than the mesh itself. So I'm not going to do the pluck method with her. I'm going to use a seam ripper for sewing and go in and take out the fibers that I want to take out. But that's something I need to do, look very closely and decide which ones to pull, or which ones to rip out and which ones to leave in. All right, so my original plans for the roots were to actually use a fabric dye made for synthetics. I don't know if it's just the one I chose, but the problem I'm having is that for it to activate and actually dye the hair, it needs to be on a stovetop cooking, and that's just not something I'm going to be doing to dye the roots. There's just no way I would be able to avoid dyeing the mesh along with it. So, and I also really don't want that much of a root. I just want a teeny bit, just to look like there's a little bit of growth, but I'm really not looking for an ombre effect at all. So I've kind of scrapped that idea, and instead I'm going to use markers. So I need this brown one, and I actually got this at Staples. It was on clearance, so for $6 I got all these. These are always useful anyway, so I'm not too upset. But basically, I'm going to use a paper towel that I have, and as I go along, I'm going to try to, you know, feather it and get it kind of nice. So I'm just going to go with my comb and just go piece by piece and do the roots like you would, like I would, you know, every month if I were dyeing my own. And then I'll show you what that looks like. The other thing I'm going to do, I haven't done yet, but on my wig cap, I have decided that it is high time I make my wig cap a bit, I guess, what do I want to say? I want it to work for me a little more. It's just not working for me. It fights me all the time. It doesn't want to stay on, and it always slowly throughout the day slips off. And it's nerve-wracking because I don't want it slipping. I want it to stay. I haven't found anything on the market that suits it other than these stay-up thigh highs. You know what I'm saying? And I have some, but I can't find them in an XXL or a large enough queen size to fit over my head without squeezing my head too much. So what I have done is I went to the hardware store, and how much was it? Oh, $3.98. I got this. Sorry, the lighting is so bad. I was trying to get natural lighting, and unfortunately, it's just that time of the day where it's pretty harsh. It's coming in strong and not filtering through. So this is what I have. I did get the clear. There are two kinds. There's white and there's clear, so I got clear. And what I'm going to do is with the nozzle, I am just going to put around the perimeter here. This is flipped inside out. You can see here, by the way, the stitching is on the outside. I'm just going to put it around the perimeter, and I have it while it's in a stretched position. Mainly because I know that this is flexible, but I don't know how flexible. And for that reason, I would much rather have it be in its farthest stretched state, so then I know for a fact it will at least get to that size. As far as how small it shrinks down, it really doesn't even matter because it's in this state where it's useful to me. So I'm going to go ahead and I've actually never used this product before, but I'm assuming it is no different from any other caulking. I have glue on my hands. This is really made for fish tanks and showers and that sort of thing. So I'm hoping it doesn't burn through my styrofoam head. Styrofoam seems to notoriously react to just about everything. Except for, of course, natural conditions. It's not biodegradable, but everything else seems to destroy it. So I'm going to snip the tip of this and just start applying it. I'm also going to have a plastic spoon I'm going to use to smooth it out if I need to. Just going to snip the end here. Try and keep it small. These are, you know what? A knife would be much better at this. Okay, went ahead with a knife, cut the tip. Now I'm going to start up here. Just get this going. There we go. Take a spoon and spread this out. It's not lumpy because those lumps will still be there when it's dry. Just making sure it's smooth all the way around. And we're done. So now I'm going to let her dry. Oh, the recommended time, I mean, normally caulking you should give about an hour. This says it should be tack-free in 30 minutes. I'm going to give it a full hour just to make sure that it's done all the way, and then we'll test it out. Okay, so now it's time to try her on and see at what point I am at and if it's working. So I have a mirror here to help me. Okay, so now I have my new silicone lined cap. The silicone feels nice. It's not super tacky, which is a good thing, you know. I mean, I still, at the end, want my natural hair to be as I left it. But there is a little bit, there's a little bit of grip without it pulling. It's not pulling any of my hair. I'm not feeling any pulls, so that's a good sign. So now what I really want to figure out here is if this skin tone is a close enough match. So by leaving it on as it is here, I can see if it's a match before I start putting it anywhere else. Take this off, and of course I left all of the lace on because it's a lot easier to do all this when you have somewhere to grip and somewhere to test. So on the inside, if I didn't show you before, she has 1, 2, and 3 combs. I do like having that comb way in the back. For me, it seems to work out great. Now, having this lace on here is going to be a pain in the butt for me. So it always tries to grab onto everything. But I'll just have to make do until I cut it off. Put in this comb in the back. Oh, it fits so nice and snug. Good. Okay, and then my light just took a dive. Trying to put these front combs. Okay, so you can see how dark the mesh is on me. It's really not my color at all. I can't pull this off. Of course, I'm also petite cap, so I will have to cut it in such a way that this wrinkling isn't happening. So I do have other adjustments that I have to do to all my wigs before I can actually wear them. So unfortunately, the way this is advertised, I did have the box, here it is. The way this is advertised is that you can, like, you know, place it, rip it, and go. That will never happen with me because my cap size is not popular. So I really will probably never see the day that I can literally buy a wig, rip the mesh, and go. So looking at it here, I'm also trying to figure out how I want to style it. Obviously, she's not styled yet. Just kind of want to see how the hair naturally falls. There's a little bit of shedding, but I did cut and thin some of this out, so it could just be some of that left over from when I tried to fix up my hairline. Now, you always want to be careful when you're brushing a synthetic, because a synthetic fiber, when it gets overextended but doesn't break, it makes like a weird spirally, it's actually the same effect you do when you're trying to coil ribbons for like a birthday party. Take a pair of scissors and you know, rake across it like that. It makes it spiral. So you're doing a similar thing. You're kind of overextending the material, and it survives, but it definitely warps the way it is. So those little spirally are whenever you see them on someone, it's a telltale sign it's a wig. I think everyone, even non-wig wearers, kind of know when they see that, because it's just not something natural hair does. So just kind of fixing her up a little bit so you can see how she looks. So she's beautiful. I just love this wig so much. She's so realistic. You can kind of see how long she is. I really like her. And I will probably put in some spiral curls. But what I want to do is see if this latex is my color, and it is. Yep, spot on. So you can see, I know that I'm reaching this threshold of lighting where it's killing it. But you can see how it really, it's opaque. You can't see through it. And this latex is fully dry now, so it's not tacky at all. And it looks like skin. So so once I cut the lace and I fit her down, I can go through and maybe just on the part where, if I decided to put a part, that I can put that on there. But this is especially helpful for all of you who are mixing in their baby hairs in the front. It can be really hard to mix that where the wig meets your scalp, so liquid latex is your friend.